Hi, I'm Shauna. This is Shauna's World. Welcome back to my channel where I focus on living well, physically, mentally and spiritually. I'm quite excited to make the video today. I'm on a walk and I did this exact same walk around this time last year to take you through my goals for 2021. And today I'm going to be doing pretty much the same walk and taking you through how those goals have gone, bit of accountability, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what I've reassessed and what goals I've kind of achieved for the year. So I'm just going to kind of walk and talk, have a chatty video and reflect on how the year's gone. So I don't know when I'm going to upload this, but I'm filming on the 3rd of January, so new year, new start, and it's nice to look back on how the year's been. I spent the last week of the year reflecting in the last couple of days and I just wanted to share how all of that has gone. Whoa, it's really muddy here. So I'm going to go through each goal I set for 2021 and just talk through how it's gone. So the first one was to pass my breathwork facilitator training, and that was the biggest one for me because I had a lot of kind of future plans around what I want to do with breathwork and what I want to offer. And I'm pleased to say I did pass my facilitator training. I think it was in May. I think it finished in May, and I'm really pleased with how I did in that, and I really threw myself into the course and I didn't miss a single seminar, really was committed to it, built amazing links and connections and did things that were really out of my comfort zone and got comfortable facilitating and doing things that weren't my comfort zone before. I remember before I did the course I was absolutely petrified about standing up in front of a group of people and leading a breathe, and now I absolutely love it. So that is a win. I have my certificate. I can say I'm a 400 hours trained breathing space facilitator and I am very happy with that. Then my second goal for 2021 was to complete my forest bathing guide qualification, to be able to lead people in forest bathing. And honestly I haven't officially completed that because I kind of changed the course I was doing. So I was originally signed up to a forest bathing guide course in 2020 and then because of COVID it didn't happen, and then I found an online course called Nature Connection Guide, and that seemed to tick all the boxes. It was a lot more affordable and I felt like I didn't need a really in-depth course because through breathwork I'd already learned how to hold space and create a safe environment for people, and I just needed to learn some of the exercises I can do to run sessions outside and help people with nature connection. So yeah, the course was pretty good. I learned some great stuff out of it. It wasn't super in depth, it was all online, and being honest I didn't throw myself into it as much as I'd have liked, but I can go back and look at the material. Yeah, I haven't kind of started offering nature connection stuff as sessions yet, but it's definitely a place I want to go. So I'd say that one is half completed. And then my third goal was to get my breathwork website up and running and make at least a little bit of money through offering breathwork. And that goal is only half complete as to whether I've done it, but I'm really happy with where I am. So just to be clearer, I didn't get a website up and running. I used an external company that was offering a free website design service in exchange for, I don't know why they were doing it actually. You had to pay hosting. I think they sell you they do the website for free and then they try and upsell you other things, extra pages, and then to be honest I just wasn't happy with the work they'd done and I decided not to go ahead with it, and I'm gonna, I think, look at incorporating my breathwork offering into my existing Shauna's World blog and changing the website altogether. So I didn't get the website up, but I think at the time when I made that goal I kind of thought the website was essential to me making money through breathwork, and it hasn't been. So yeah, I definitely have made money through breathwork and more than I expected. I've already recouped more than what I spent on my facilitator training, which was a pricey course. So I'm really pleased with how that's gone, and hopefully it's just going to keep growing from there. I also started working with a coach this year to kind of look at growing my breathwork offering, and something that I've had real blockages with is around marketing and promoting myself. But I was talking to the coach and she said that a website is really just a marketing tool, and there are other marketing tools. So I've joined Meetup and set up a Meetup group and had people come to things through that, and also through contacts I already have from my facilitator training, other events, and kind of word of mouth. And that's how I've mostly got business. And I do want to get a website up, but I've kind of come to realise it's not the be all and end all when it comes to earning through breathwork. My fourth goal was to make 20 YouTube videos. I set quite a low target because I didn't want to overwhelm myself, and I was still getting to grips with making videos, but I actually hit 20 videos about halfway through the year. In the lockdown at the start of the year, I had a lot of time for making videos. I was at my mum's, I wasn't really going anywhere, I didn't have anyone to socialise with, so I had a lot of time to put into making videos. Then as the year went on, after I'd hit the 20, it definitely tailed off a bit, and I don't know if that's partly because I knew I'd hit that target and I wasn't kind of putting the energy into it that I was at the start of the year when I thought 20 would be tough to hit. But I enjoyed making them a lot, and I was also really busy after I got back, and socialising and exercising, doing all the things I love doing. But I do kind of wish I'd made it a bit of a more challenging target, so I'm hoping to do that for next year, but I still haven't fixed on a number for next year. But I definitely feel more comfortable making YouTube videos now. They're probably not that great. I'm still using the basic editing software. I'd love to upgrade to Final Cut Pro sometime, but it's pretty pricey. I will in due course, but I'm pleased with how my YouTube journey's going. And then my fifth goal was to do a bodybuilding show. I made videos about this along the way, which you might have seen, but basically I did not do a show, and I still feel like I got what I needed out of that goal. So I trained with a bodybuilding coach for about the first 6 months of the year, and a lot of the reason I wanted to do bodybuilding was because I wanted to consistently train for a sport, work really hard at it, be coached, and kind of cultivate that dedication and discipline that a professional athlete needs. And bodybuilding seemed like a good sport to do that in, because it is quite obsessive and it's really, you have to be so dedicated. And the fact that I was able to train consistently for 6 months and barely missed a workout session, worked so hard, my physique changed a lot, that was great, and I felt like I got what I needed out of that goal. I did not compete in the end because the lifestyle and the nutrition plan and the obsession essentially led to me having quite disordered eating and developing a difficult relationship with my body, and I felt it was important for me to stop at the time. But I still don't consider that goal a failure, because I took everything I needed from the training without actually having to get on stage in a bikini or push myself to beyond where it was safe or comfortable. And I definitely still have some residual negative effects from that. My eating's not back to normal yet, my body image issues aren't back to normal yet, but they're a lot better than where they were at the time. I think it's just one of those things that when everyone around you is complimenting you for getting smaller, even people you really love, when you gain weight again, as is healthy, and I know I'm healthier, but I feel less loved, less valid as a person, and missing the praise I got for being a smaller person, which I know isn't great, but yeah, just being honest about where I am. But I'm still glad I did that training for a while, because it did prove to me that I can be consistent with something, which consistency is something I've always really struggled with, and just to have been able to be that dedicated and that consistent for 6 months, I'm really proud of that. And then my sixth goal was to save £12,000 through the year, and I'm really pleased with how that went. So at the time I didn't want to tell you all what I was saving for because I wasn't allowed to, but I've since made a video about it. So I'm taking a sabbatical in 2022, if all goes to plan with COVID and all of this, but so I'm saving money to take that time off work, and I wanted to get to 12,000 actually by March of this year, but ideally by the end of 2021. And I did that. I actually exceeded that, and I'm really pleased. And I've also pushed the sabbatical back to the autumn when I was originally going to go in the spring, so I'm going to be able to save more before that. And yeah, I just managed to save a bit extra through extra ways of earning money. I took on a bit of extra work, some like ad hoc flyering, and I think I'm going to make a video on all the extra ways I've saved money for my sabbatical, because yeah, I'm really proud of how it's gone. And then obviously breathwork kind of doing better than I expected, that's added to my savings. And I've also gotten much more meticulous about how I save and having pots for every area of my life. I opened an account with Starling, and in your savings you can have separate pots. So I can have my sabbatical fund, my emergency fund, boat maintenance, and I have all these pots, and I can ring fence them in there, and it makes it so much easier for me. So yeah, I'm really proud to say that I saved a fair bit over £12,000 in the year, and carrying on with that. And my 7th goal was to read or listen to 50 books or audiobooks in the year, and yes, I achieved that. I just went through and counted the other day, and I've read a couple since, but I think my total is 55 or 56, which I'm really pleased with because it was more than last year, and I read some quite chunky books as well. Mostly I do audiobook. I did a few paperbacks, but I can blitz through them so much quicker on audio, so it gets me to read more or consume more, if you don't call audiobooks reading, whatever. And I really got a lot out of the amount I read. It got me through all my runs and walks, and falling asleep at night and just while I'm washing up or that kind of thing. And I just really enjoyed it, and I pretty much exclusively read autobiographies and non-fiction, a lot of non-fiction, a lot of kind of spiritual books, a lot of nature books, a lot of running books and personal development, and I feel like I just learned a lot and got a lot out of it. So I'm going to keep that going again for this year even. And then my 8th goal, which was only a semi-goal because I said at the time this isn't a priority, it's only if the stars align, was to learn to drive, and I didn't even touch that. I do still want to learn to drive, it just hasn't been a priority financially and time-wise this year, but it's still on my radar. Probably also not for 2022 because I have a lot of other priorities this year, but I have started saving in one of my saving pots for driving lessons, so I am starting to think about it and make it something that's on my radar, but it hasn't been a priority. I also had a few things for 2021 that I didn't classify exactly as goals, but more kind of loose intentions that I wanted to keep present in my life, and I just want to reflect on those a little bit. So one of them was to keep up my running, and I would say that's gone really well. I just got my end of year stats from Strava, and I think I ran 223 days out of the year, which yeah, I'm just really pleased with because running wasn't one of my main goals for the year. I didn't have any big running challenges, and I just really enjoyed running, and it was nice not to have those big goals and just to run for the love of it. And it was probably the most consistent I've ever been in a whole year. I think when I've been training for races before, I am usually consistent in short bursts, but I really struggle to maintain consistency. And I haven't, you know, I've gone the odd couple of weeks without running, or when I've been ill, when I had COVID, but yeah, really pleased that I've kept up running consistently. And then another intention was to keep up my daily practices like journaling, daily breath work and meditation. And while I definitely haven't done all these things every day, they've been fairly consistent in my life. Maybe I've been a little bit flaky with journaling compared to how I was last year, but breathwork and meditation I do pretty much every day. But I also have been really trying to not beat myself up if there are days when I don't feel able to do it because I'm really tired and I just need to go to sleep, or because I'm overwhelmed. So yeah, I'm pretty consistent, but I'm also not obsessive about it, which I think is important for me, at least with daily practices, that they feel good and they don't feel like I'm forcing it. And then another intention was to keep up my plant identification and wildlife identification skills, and I have to say that hasn't gone very well at all. I put a bit of energy into it in the summer. I was using the CCAP a bit to learn new species and learn how to identify, but mostly I haven't kind of gone over things. I'm not the best at that identification, and I think just with so many other things on my plate, I haven't prioritised it. My bushcraft course had finished, so I wasn't kind of surrounded by it so much, and I would like to come back to that because I really do enjoy, and I think it's an important skill, and particularly if I'm doing things like nature connection, I think it's lovely to be able to share the kinds of things that we're seeing on a nature walk. And my ID is not very good. It's getting better, but yeah, it's a skill you can lose if you don't use it too often. So I think I do want to work on that a bit more. And then finally, one of my intentions was just to focus on kindness and always being kind. And it wasn't something that I necessarily thought about loads through the year, but I do feel like I was kind as much as humanly possible. I had people comment on the fact that I am very empathetic and see things from every point of view and approach every conflict with kindness. So not wanting to toot my own horn too much, but I do think that kindness is probably, yeah, I think it's been present in my life and something I have done. I don't know why I feel uncomfortable saying that when I've just rabbled on about all the goals I've achieved, but I feel arrogant to say that I feel like I've been kind. That's interesting, very interesting. Anyway, that is all my reflections for 2021. I didn't hit everything perfectly, but overall I'm pleased with how my 2021 went, and some of the goals changed a bit along the way or weren't a priority anymore. But I think that's important, that when you make goals, it's a ever-changing thing, because what's a priority to you in December or January might change, and there's no point in blindly following through with something just because you said you will, if it's not something that's important to you anymore. So I'm calling 2021 a win. I had some challenges this year. I definitely had some mental health challenges, I had COVID, I had some real challenges living on the boat, but overall I would say 2021, I'm pleased. I think it was a good year, and I'm glad I set these intentions at the beginning of the year, because it kept me on track and doing the things that were important to me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching today. I definitely enjoyed this walk and sharing with you. I'm actually going to be making my goals for 2022 video on this same walk, so check that out when it comes out. But thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want more videos like this, you can leave a comment down below, and do let me know in the comments how your 2021 went too. And you can also subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this. Thank you for being here, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.